So yesterday we have discussed about the recognition criteria of a tangible asset or a intangible asset. Whenever we see some resource giving us economic benefit, okay, is an asset we discuss. So we have written 2 points, right? Recognition criteria. We have yesterday discussed that any resource which like matches with the definition of an asset can be recognized as an asset, and the criteria for recognition is same for tangible or intangible assets, because both this give us economic benefits. And point number two, which is very important, is their cost should be measured reliably. So what is the meaning of cost should be measured reliably? See, X company has so many people who are working in this company. There is Mr. Ramesh, one of the best employees of the company. There is Mr. Suresh, who is also one of the good employees. Mr. Vignesh, Kalpesh, Yogesh. Okay, I'm taking all the names. All these Ish are the employees of X company. Now the point here, what I want to prove here is, can they show these names in the balance sheet as 1 crore, 5 crore, 3 crore, 2 crore? Yes. Can they show them? Hello.
Hey, separately? No.
Of course they cannot show. Why? Because human beings are not someone who can be valued. Okay, we are invaluable. So what can be valued from a human being is their services. So companies buy the services of a human being or human resource, but not the entire human being or human resource. So here all these people, even though they are very important assets for our company, they cannot be shown in the balance sheet because their cost cannot be measured reliably. Something whose cost can be measured reliably can only be shown in the asset side of balance sheet as an asset. So the second point also is very, very important apart from the first point. So whenever you want to show something as an asset in the balance sheet, you should see that it should provide or give you economic benefits, and also its cost should be measured reliably. Now recognition criteria point is done. Now the first and foremost question is, we have discussed right now about the cost. Then what is the cost of an asset? Tangible or intangible asset? We will just find out, and I will tell you intangible assets which are separately identifiable. Okay, we will see in the text, you will come across this identifiable intangible asset. What is a identifiable intangible asset? Which I will write some. I will write one more point. Separately identifiable means which is separable from the business. Point number one, and can be sold normally in an economic transaction. Okay, just put it here. Okay, just a second. Just a second. Yeah. So so the point here is separately identifiable is what I will be explaining you. Something which can be separated from the business and can be sold in the market. Okay, in an economic transaction. What is meant by this? Let's say there is X company. X company may have so many intangible assets, but there are some intangible assets like goodwill. Can you separate goodwill from X company? Can you separate X company's goodwill from it? My question is, can you separate X company's goodwill from itself? Hello? No, this is inseparable, right? So if this cannot be separated from the business, it is inseparable and it is not separately identifiable. Henceforth, this can be termed as a self-generated asset. That means if X company has some goodwill, we understand it may have some goodwill. That goodwill is associated with X company, and when some other company would buy X company, the goodwill of X company would be, purchased by that another company. Then in that case, this goodwill, the goodwill will be created because some price will be paid for that, and then that can be shown in this buyer's or acquiring company's balance sheet as intangible asset. But in next company's balance sheet, this goodwill cannot be shown as an intangible asset because it is not separately identifiable and it cannot be sold by separating it from the business. Okay. Rest all the assets like patents, trademarks, copyrights definitely can be separated from X company and can be sold in a in a particular commercial transaction. Okay, so these can be shown in the balance sheet as intangible assets because they are separately identifiable, can be separated from the business and can be sold to anyone else. So the point is very clear, right? Now coming to cost calculation, cost of tangible asset, of course you'll take the original cost, also called as historical cost. Same thing comes here. Then you will be adding all those expenditure which you are going to spend only once initially when you purchase this asset. Okay. So what are the expenses you're going to spend only once when you purchase this asset and make this asset ready for use? First and foremost thing, freight charges, because you are bringing this particular this particular tangible asset, okay, from your supplier to your warehouse, go down or your factory site. Freight charges, add import duties, okay, any customs, import, etc., etc., and then you have to bring this asset to your factory site and you have to install it. Installation cost, then any kind of architect or anyone whom you have called for kind of testing this, so testing expenses, etc. All this are non-recurring nature expenses spent only once, that too when you purchase the asset and make it ready for use purpose initially. Okay, these are all direct expenses. Okay, I would rather say all these are not direct. I'll use the term, better term is non-recurring nature expenses, also called as capital expenses, and these have to be capitalized. That means they have to be added to the actual asset value, added to asset value. Sorry, I'm getting a call. So all these are non-recurring nature expenses. They have to be capitalized. Okay, capitalized is nothing but added to asset value. If I use the terminology expensed, now when an asset will be expensed, recurring nature expenses. What do you mean by recurring nature expenses? Servicing, service and maintenance cost. This you have to incur, right? Always. And here you can take insurance also, transit insurance. Here you can take the general insurance which you take for the properties. That is again recurring nature expense. So anything which you are regularly spending on the asset is recurring nature expense, have to be expensed. Okay, we will see the list of expenses given in the book. Okay, they have just a second. Tangible assets and intangible both will be there. It was there in the syllabus. What they have done, they are using only intangible long-lived assets. Okay. Sure. So, where is the long-lived assets? They may be using that in this chapter then. Balance sheet. Tangible, they are not mentioning anywhere. I don't know. They have removed it from the syllabus. Okay. Fine. You will only get to know very properly about intangible assets if you know about tangible assets. Okay. Otherwise, you will be, not knowing the base of it. The treatment what we give to tangible is similar to similarly you have to give to intangible. Okay. You have to give to intangible assets. So the treatments are always similar. Fine. Hello, Akila, are you following? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So the treatment is very similar. The treatment is very similar. Where is that gone? Okay.
130 page number, I guess.
Page number. Do you remember the page number?
130, I guess.
One.
30.
Okay, 130. Fine. Oh, 33 page, 33 chapter. Okay. So we are here. Now, coming to the method of depreciation. Okay. So we have understood what expenses are to be capitalized and what expenses have to be expensed, right? Is it right? Now, every year, if you capitalize your intangible asset, okay, then you need to expense them also. So expense. So how will you expense the asset in the subsequent years? Through depreciation, right?